Hi there, Bev. I think there's a number of factors as to why we've seen this come today. I guess one of them is just simple maths. A critical threshold of 54 letters was reached. That's 54 Conservative MPs writing letters of no confidence in the Prime Minister. And then under party rules, that simply triggers a vote of confidence in the Prime Minister. But why have we reached that critical threshold now after months of trying to get there? Well, I think there's a number of factors behind that too. We've seen more polling recently showing that many Conservative MPs would be trounced in an election if one were to be held in the coming months. More anecdotally, we saw over the weekend the Prime Minister facing some really embarrassing scenes where he was booed quite loudly by crowds at Queen's Jubilee celebrations. And these were, Queen-loving, Union Jack-waving people. And I think that may have crystallised the issue in the minds of some of his colleagues that the Prime Minister is losing support amongst his key constituency. There is no one issue behind this, but at the centre is the Prime Minister's integrity and whether or not he can be trusted. It wasn't just the series of parties at number 10. It wasn't just the fact that he was fined for breaking his own rules. It wasn't just him standing up in Parliament saying that all rules had been followed, even when a report later found that there was a culture of rule breaking at number 10. I think it was a combination of all of them and, more importantly, the Prime Minister's reaction to it in the months since. So I think some MPs, certainly those saying that they won't support him, they're saying that their own constituents are saying that they really can't trust the Prime Minister, and that lack of trust has now got to such a critical level that he shouldn't stay in the top job.
So, as you pointed out, 54 votes, letters required to hold this vote, but he needs 180 of his fellow MPs to vote against him. What do we understand about how the numbers are lining up for him?
Well, on paper, Boris Johnson should win this vote. As you say, it's taken some time to reach 54 signatures. 180 people are required to vote against him. So the Prime Minister might be feeling relatively confident. I think what is the real unknown is whether or not simply triggering this vote then means that support falls away in the coming hours and he could ultimately lose. I don't think anyone can say with any real certainty. One thing that is certainly going in his favour right now is that the vast majority of his senior colleagues are backing him. We've seen statement after statement from cabinet ministers saying that they support the Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister will have his own chance to directly address his colleagues. He's already written a letter to them just in the last few hours, and he'll be speaking to them directly before the vote is held, and that'll be his chance to make his case to stay in the job.
Technically, if he survives today's vote, he should be safe for 12 months. But if we look back, historically, once a motion like this is brought, it can be the beginning of the end, can't it?
Definitely. There's a long history of Prime Ministers out there who have survived these kinds of votes, whether or not it's Theresa May, who faced a vote of no confidence and later resigned. Margaret Thatcher, well, she faced a direct leadership challenge and she survived that, but she went too. I don't think anyone thinks Boris Johnson is a normal politician, though, so it may be that even if he is badly damaged by this, even if he sees the writing on the wall, he may not leave the top job. And he's seen himself how much benefit just a few months can give him. I mean, his leadership was really on the ropes a few months back. Then the war in Ukraine came along and that certainly bought him some time. So the Prime Minister may well try to hang on. Another unknown is whether or not the rules might be changed, and some Conservative MPs have already left that open. Perhaps the party rules could be changed so that Boris Johnson can be ousted in the coming months, even if he survives the vote later on today.
Interesting. And Nick, is there an obvious successor to Boris Johnson?
Not really, and that's another thing in the Prime Minister's favour. Names like Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor, and Liz Truss, the Foreign Secretary, also people like Dominic Raab, have been mentioned, but so far they have all been giving their support to the Prime Minister. So even if the Prime Minister loses, they could then obviously make the decision to stand for the leadership. But right now, they are backing him in.
Nick Dole in London, thank you so much. And I know you'll keep us up to date as the hours progress.